Money FM 89.3, the best of the afternoon update. Viewpoint.
Good Monday afternoon to you. It's Lynn Lee with you on the Afternoon Update. Now, Singapore Budget 2025 has set the stage to boost economic competitiveness and upskill the workforce amid challenging global economic conditions. Central to the budget's aims are a slew of initiatives aimed at supporting small and medium enterprises through targeted financial support and technological advancements. Now, these include a corporate tax rebate, enhanced support for SMEs, and investments in AI and digital innovation, alongside efforts to improve workforce productivity and skills. So how will these measures provide critical support to businesses navigating economic uncertainty? Are they adequate for SMEs in Singapore? And what do SMEs really want? On Viewpoint, we have Waltson Tan, founder and managing director of 28 Falcon Law, joining us this afternoon to share his perspectives. Good afternoon, Waltson. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Lindy.
Now, Waltson, great to have you here with us. Now, 28 Falcon Law, I understand, provides legal advice and legal expertise to its clients and supporting business owners to achieve their business goals by taking care of their legal needs. So what were some of your initial reactions to the budget?
I think the budget has been pretty good, I believe, for SME owners. I think the budget has been very imaginative, and there's been a lot of help with companies, especially SMEs, to go and grow in light of the new developments in AI and many challenges ahead of us.
Okay, I understand that you serve quite a number of SMEs, and 28 Falcon Law was actually established specifically to help the SMEs. So what are your clients saying?
My clients are saying that actually these measures have been very helpful for them as long as they can tap into these grants. I think some of the challenges are actually getting access to these grants, but as long as they go through the hurdles, I think these government initiatives and grants have been very helpful in their growth and in their SME journeys.
Okay, let's be a bit more specific. Getting into the details, there is the corporate tax rebate. Budget 2025 maintains a 50% corporate income tax rebate. It's capped at $40,000 to lift financial pressures on businesses, especially the SMEs, and support their investments in long-term growth. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think it's a very good initiative that they're continuing. This was actually started last year, and they are actually continuing this initiative. So I believe that the take-up rate and the responses have been pretty good for the government to want to continue with these grants.
And what about the progressive wage credit scheme enhancement?
Yeah, I think this enhancement is actually an improvement from last year's initiative. So last year they were actually at 30% of the co-funding help, and this year they've brought it up to 40% of co-funding help. So I think this is a good improvement, and I think the government is really thinking very well in helping the SMEs and employees cope with the rising cost of living.
There is also some support in terms of technology and AI. I think $150 million has been allocated for the Enterprise Compute Initiative to support businesses, particularly SMEs. How do you think this will help your clients to perhaps adopt AI tools and technologies?
Yeah, I think when it comes to AI, the main concerns are actually the ability to onboard all these tools into their systems, as well as the ability for their workforce to upskill, to make full use and utilize all these AI tools. So actually this new initiative is actually very forward-looking, very progressive. And I think the main hurdle from my client's perspective and even my own law firm's perspective is how can we go and utilize all these tools, because the main concern is actually cost, right? So all these tools are not cheap. And so how will the government help us, onboard us into this new initiative, and so then we can transform for the future by utilizing all these very modern tools?
Yes. Driving productivity and innovation is key, but so is expanding workforce development and enhancing skills, I think. So there is help and there's support in this part of things as well. I think the Budget 2025 also introduced a $1 billion private credit growth fund to provide more financing options. Where do you see this helping the SMEs?
I think these are the help that mostly benefits startups, especially those that want to go onto the international stage. And we're actually funding from, for example, private players like venture capitalists and also private equity funds are lacking. So I think the government is actually coming in to bridge the gap in terms of funding, equity fundraising, and possibly even debt fundraising. So I think the government has been very clear in the direction and in their ability to plug the market gaps in terms of funding for startups. So I think it's very welcome initiatives that we are all looking forward to.
Okay. 28 Falcon Law, you were mentioning you serve a diverse client base and, you yourself, you're a local SME as well.
Yes.
So how do you intend to use these support?
I think I have surveyed the whole landscape of grants, and I think that they are very, very comprehensive, and they've spotted especially all the gaps that we, as SME owners, need help in. So I think the main thing that I will be benefiting from is definitely the 50% corporate income tax rebate. And with the progressive wage credit scheme, actually, I'm also thinking of how I can harness it to grow my team at 28 Falcon Law. So I think these two initiatives are actually the lowest hanging fruits for my company as an SME. And then the longer term, or rather the mid-term help that I think SMEs can benefit from will be things like the enterprise compute initiatives, things like the skills future credits, and I think market readiness assistance grant is also something that I think we look forward to in the middle to long term. So I think these are the framework that I'm actually thinking about it from an SME owner's perspective.
Okay. Was there any aspect at all that you felt could have been, done better?
I think overall, from policymakers' perspective, this has been very, very comprehensive already. But I think I would like to share what I call the 3 A's, right, that could potentially unlock even more of the potential that all these grants are providing. So the 3 A's, I call them awareness, accessibility, and accreditation. So awareness, I'm thinking more along the lines of targeted awareness towards SME owners who are looking to utilize all these grants, right? So as I'm speaking with SME owners, actually, I understand that the government has been trying very, very hard to actually roll out and make SME owners understand what grants are available to them. And so one example is that the E2I, right? I think it's a subsidiary or a branch of NTUC. They are actually trying their very best to see how they can, reach out to SME owners and tell SME owners that actually there are a lot of government support. So I think more targeted awareness can be given by perhaps conducting workshops or seminars so that, SME owners are more aware of what they can tap on. And so that brings us on to the second point, which is accessibility.
Okay.
Right. So all these grants are actually very helpful, but it takes a lot of effort to get up to speed to what actually is required for the government to disperse these grants, right? So for SME owners, I think a lot of us are struggling with our day-to-day operations, management, and we have some difficulty in dedicating resources to fully understand the whole landscape of grants available. And after understanding all these grants, we will also have to make an assessment, right, from a returns of investments perspective. Which one would be the lowest hanging fruit? Which one would be the ones we should prioritize? And I think we need some help in that. So I'm thinking if the SME is big enough, it can literally hire some employees to really look into what SME grants are available for their companies to grow. So I think in the definition of SME in Singapore, it's pretty broad, right? So the broad working definition of an SME is a company which has at least 30% local shareholding and a group annual sales of not more than 100 million Singapore dollars or a group employment size of not more than 200 employees. So as you can see, Lindy, this seems to me that, what the category of SMEs are is super broad, right? If you are making, for example, $99 million in revenue a year, you are still an SME. So I think there should be a little bit of differentiated approach as to how the government looks at SMEs, perhaps coming up with more subcategories of what SMEs are, and then somehow reaching out to these people to help them with the onboarding process of tapping on to the government grants. So I think this brings me back to the point of accessibility, right? So I think this is something executional that could be very helpful for SME owners like myself, to very quickly get up to speed as to what grants are available to me, what are the criteria. Yeah. And I think this brings me on to the last point, which is accreditation, right? So accreditation, what I have in mind is that there's actually a knowledge and trust gap between grant advisors, SME owners, and, people who are thinking of taking on all these grants, right? So there are a lot of grant advisors around. From my perspective, none of them have really approached me to help me with how I can tap on all these grants to grow my business as an SME owner. But at the same time, I'm thinking, even if those people reached out to me, right, how do I know whether or not I can trust them to act in the best interest of my company, to tap on all these grants so that there is no conflict of interest? So I think that could be a form of accreditation process, right, where all these grant advisors are accredited by the government to deal with agencies like E2I and the likes, so the SME owners have the comfort and the peace of mind that when we outsource all of our grant requirements to these advisors, we can then, continue to focus on running our business and trust them to do their work. So I think really, Lindy, it's about more executional help. Yeah.
Okay, so the 3 A's again, it's the first one I forgot, but the accessibility and accreditation. What was the first one again?
Awareness.
Awareness.
So more awareness building, so the SME owners are aware that there are a slew of grants available to them, and, they could do it through, for example, workshops and seminars for SME owners. For example, if you newly incorporate an SME, for example, today, it would be great if somebody from some organization could reach out to you to, send you information of what you could use as a starter pack of grants, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. So you would like to see more help for SMEs to be informed in various ways that there are such grants and to help them access these grants with better accreditation.
Yes.
Correct? Absolutely. Okay. And for your own Falcon Law, any missing elements that you wish that you had seen in this year's budget?
I think the budget has been very imaginative, very creative, and I think the help would be to how Falcon Law can get access to these grants, what kind of AI tools we can use to streamline the legal services that we provide to our clients, and then to pass on this cost savings to our clients. Right. So it's about AI innovation and also efficiency of use of resources like time and employees.
Very interesting viewpoints there today. Really enjoyed listening to your views, Waltson. Thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate your time. Waltson Tan, founder and managing director of Singapore-based 28 Falcon Law. Thank you.
Thank you.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.